Good morning and welcome to the second day at the 30th anniversary conference of the EEAC network in Helsinki. The topic for these days is the critical decade of action mobilizing sustainability transformation in Europe. And we had a wonderful day yesterday. We covered topics such as creating partnerships for sustainability transformation and Europe's global responsibility in combating climate change. And today we'll continue with, for example, with a keynote about midterm policy actions needed against the biodiversity crisis. The conference is hosted by Finland's 3 independent science panels, the Finnish Expert Panel for Sustainable Development, the Finnish Climate Change Panel, and the Finnish Nature Panel. Again, please feel free to share your insights from the conference on Twitter and on other social media. Hashtags for social media are, again, EEAC30 and Critical Decade. And you can also tag the handle EEAC Network. My name is Hanna Nikkanen. I'm an environmental journalist at the Finnish long-form magazine Longplay. I'll be facilitating the keynote session today as well. And now I have the honor of introducing our high-level opening first speaker. She's Maria Ohisalo. She has served as Minister of the Environment since June 22. So, and before that, she served as the Minister of the Interior for 2 years. She has a PhD in sociology. She has worked as a researcher on issues related to social exclusion. And now, please, Minister Ohisalo, the floor is yours.
Dear changemakers, thank you for this opportunity to greet and congratulate the European Environment and Sustainable Development Advisory Council's network on behalf of the Finnish government and Ministry of the Environment. In the era of the climate crisis and biodiversity loss, research and concrete recommendations provided by scientific advisory bodies are needed more than ever. Solutions to these crises and the transformation our societies need must be based on scientific research. In Finland, we have 3 excellent science panels: the Finnish Expert Panel for Sustainable Development, the Finnish Climate Change Panel, and the Finnish Nature Panel. These panels have given valuable guidance to our government on several issues. Just to mention a few examples, our carbon neutrality target 2035 and other emission reduction targets in our new Climate Act were actually set based on the recommendations of the Climate Change Panel. This year, we prepared a new Nature Protection Act, and the Nature Panel was heard in the process. The Sustainable Development Panel gave valuable guidance for our circular economy program. And I want to warmly thank all the experts who have been involved in the work of these panels. Dear friends, this decade has probably surprised all of us. First, the global COVID pandemic, then the Russian invasion to Ukraine. At the same time, the effects of the climate crisis are becoming more and more visible, and hunger threatens millions of people in Africa. Pandemic and the war only have been a wake-up call and a dress rehearsal for future challenges, like United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has said. But also, a lot of good things are actually happening. The EU is finalizing its climate package, and many countries have set new ambitious emission reduction targets. Renewable electricity growth is accelerating faster than ever. The urgent need for climate action has been recognized widely in the societies. Today, I would like to address specifically 2 topics that are maybe less visible in public debate, but nevertheless crucial for our future. These are overconsumption of natural resources and loss of biodiversity. I'm certain that in this decade, these burning issues will be as widely discussed in politics as climate crisis is now. In the coming years, we will need knowledge, new tools, indicators, and policy recommendations to tackle these crises. Globally, the use of natural resources has more than tripled in 50 years, and the OECD estimates that it will almost double from the current level by 2060, unless we change our production and consumption habits. The use of virgin natural resources is the main cause for climate change and loss of biodiversity. The green transition is a way forward. However, it will also increase the demand of natural resources. Thus, a new race for these resources will begin. Windmills, electric cars, and hydrogen solutions require materials and low-carbon electricity. There is not just one single solution to respond to this challenge. Transition to a circular and more sustainable economy is not just about businesses, but the whole society. And the way we plan and design our policies, cities, and infrastructure, as well as our daily lives, has to change. Above all, we have to tackle the elephant in the room. High consumption society is simultaneously a benchmark for measuring development success. But at the same time, the use of virgin natural resources is the main cause for climate change and loss of biodiversity. Nevertheless, we somehow fade down the discussion on overconsumption and avoid looking for effective policy tools and ambitious global policy on natural resources. So far, globally, there are no real targets on dealing with overconsumption beyond limiting food waste. However, first steps to attend to the issue are already being taken. The European Union Circular Economy Action Plan was released in 2020, and it aims to reduce the footprint of production and consumption and double circular material use within the EU. Also here in Finland, we have set circular economy targets. Last year, our government adopted circular economy strategy and made a decision, I would say maybe a historical decision, to set a cap to curb the overconsumption of natural resources. To walk the talk and to achieve the goals of the circular economy program, we have also launched a process towards a low-carbon circular economy agreement with industry sectors, companies and regions. We are just in the beginning to start a scenario process with the key businesses and cities. Ministries, businesses and cities together with the researchers create 3 pathways to the future and try to identify the most effective measures to change the trend, advance the circular economy and to create new opportunities. Based on ongoing scenario work, the organizations that joined the agreement set goals and defined effective measures to achieve the goals. The outcome of this dialogue will eventually help to find policy tools to create a positive circle, but also enables the discussion of somewhat sci-fi solutions, if I may say. New solutions can be new products of carbon dioxide recovered from pulp mills, plant-based proteins, or regenerative farming. Municipalities or regions, together with companies and other actors in their area, can create ecosystems around solutions that promote closed cycles in the utilization of nutrients and energy, but also interesting and scalable solutions. Dear friends, overconsumption of natural resources is one of the most important reasons behind the loss of biodiversity. It has become more and more obvious that we need new tools for fighting this negative trend. Last year, Professor Sir Partha Dasgupta's report brought the attention of the world on the need to internalize nature into decision-making. In the Finnish Ministry of the Environment, we have actually launched a project on how to address the findings and objectives of Professor Dasgupta's report from Finland's point of view. The project is led by the Finnish Natural Resource Institute, and we have a multidisciplinary science panel to support this work. We have known for a long time that economic activities rely on nature and the services and materials it provides, but we have not been able to determine its economic value well enough. Now we should find suitable indicators to be monitored. For example, it is quite obvious that the value of forests cannot be calculated just as cubic meters of timber. But if the value of forest biodiversity can be calculated in euros, this will help us understand the total output of forests. However, we need to remember that money can never reflect all the different values people assign to forests and nature. I expect that the project launch in Finland will provide tools to consider natural values from an economic point of view. We have to ensure that in the future all legislation, regulation and budget decisions in Finland will be in line with the ecological framework. What would recognizing the value of nature then mean in practice? We do not always see the value of nature's functions here. One everyday example of this is pollinators that are becoming more and more endangered. Food production and our whole life depend on the services they produce. We probably rarely think that even in Finland the value of the work done by pollinators is measured in tens of millions of euros. Globally, this amount is astronomical. Yet, Parliament does not discuss the value of pollinators when the state budget is approved and discussed. Honeybees and bumblebees need suitable habitats to survive. But without understanding their value, we cannot understand the opportunity cost. That is, what is the cost of not preserving and creating habitats such as unmown margins along the roads or leaving decaying trees in commercial forests? Dear friends, the green transition is already showing huge business potential. However, while pushing the green transition, we always have to make sure that we do it in a controlled way. We must stop both crisis, climate change and biodiversity loss at the same time. It is therefore clear that in the future we must plan and prioritize in a completely new way how we use the limited natural resources we have. We need a complete systemic change. And even more importantly, we need a change in our mindsets. Nature and economy are intertwined in a crucial manner. In this work, the role of the science panels and advisory bodies is crucial. Sustainable green transition must be based on scientific knowledge and holistic understanding. We policymakers need the information and tools provided by experts. I want to thank the European Environment and Sustainable Development Advisory Council's network for its first 30 years and wish you a lot of success for the next 30 years. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Minister Ohisalo. And next up, I'm going to invite to the stage Professor Paula Eerola. She's the president of the Academy of Finland, which is an expert organization that funds scientific research, provides expertise in science and science policy, and strengthens the position of science and research in the Finnish society. And her own research field is particle physics. And she's also serving as the vice rector of the University of Helsinki. Welcome to the stage, Paula Eerola.
Thank you. Maybe I should clarify that I was serving as a vice rector, but now I have the role at the Academy of Finland. But dear distinguished guests, It is my pleasure also to welcome you all to the 30th EEAC annual conference seminar on behalf of the Finnish research funders. Science plays a key role when we try to solve problems and, for example, reduce the human footprint, enhance the resilience of natural and socio-economic systems, and strive to achieve the sustainable development goals. The role of the Academy of Finland is to support Finnish research and research environment. The Academy of Finland is an expert organization in science and research that funds high-quality scientific research, provides expertise in science and science policy, and strengthens the position of science and research in the society. We are a government agency within the administrative branch of the Finnish Ministry of Education, Science and Culture. Academy of Finland promotes excellent, responsible and high-impact research to ensure that society can make the best possible use of the results. Our goal is the renewal, diversification and increasing internationalization of Finnish research. Our activities cover the full spectrum of scientific disciplines. In 2022, Academy's funding for research amounts to, in total, about 470 million euros. Each year, our funding contributes to some 3,000 people's work at universities, research institutes, and also other organizations. The Academy of Finland as an organization is committed to the 17 Sustainable Development Goals defined in the 2030 Agenda, and has made its own commitment to the shared goals for 22 to 25. The objective of the commitment is to raise awareness of the principles of sustainable development and to emphasize the importance of these principles in research funding and research work. The aim of the renewed commitment is also to examine perspectives of sustainability and responsibility more systematically, and to highlight the importance of research as a driver of sustainable development. The commitment covers all research funding activities at the Academy. In the following, I will give some examples of Finnish research related to our themes today. The Finnish research community is actively asking funding for research on global sustainability challenges. An analysis conducted at the Academy of Finland has investigated research specifically on climate change and carbon neutrality in our application data. So looking at our applications. During 2020, Academy received more than 600 applications concerning climate change and carbon neutrality research that represented a wide range of research fields from technology to social and human sciences. And this represented more than 10% of the total number of applications in that year. The applications presented questions related to, for example, more environmentally friendly battery technology, the health effects of air pollution, reducing food waste, climate change observation technology, and decision making. The Academy of Finland and the Strategic Research Council, which operates in connection to the Academy of Finland, together funded that year research directly or indirectly linked to climate change and carbon neutrality for a total amount of approximately 68 million euros. That covered about 1/5 of the applications analyzed during that year. So the applications were also multidisciplinary. The applications included 3.4 research fields on average. The sustainability challenges of our time require collaboration across disciplines. The research themes included also a wide range of impact considerations and mitigation strategies. The climate crisis is one of the most pertinent global challenges in need of solutions. The need to address issues concerning climate change is part of the Academy of Finland strategy. The Academy funds research related to climate change and carbon neutrality every year, not only in 2020, both in the autumn call and in thematic calls. The importance of research on climate change and carbon neutrality will not diminish. For example, the evaluation of the Academy of Finland published in March 2022 stresses that the Finnish research and development and innovation system must focus even more on tackling societal challenges. Academy of Finland is also funding several academic programs that are more thematic research programs related to environment and sustainable development. For example, climate synergy, biofuture, carbon value, climate change and health, critical materials in circular economy of cities, and development research. These are the programs running at the moment. These programs aim to strengthen research in these fields, promote making use of research results, and highlight the importance of quality research in tackling global challenges. Research priorities within these themes may change due to new technological innovations or research results, for example, but the overall goal of mitigation and adaptation remains. The Academy of Finland coordinates national research infrastructure investments and supports European and international infrastructures. The role of research infrastructures in the green and digital transition has been recognized. Indeed, responsibility and sustainable development, as well as digital platforms and data, have been named among the 6 strategic development areas identified in the Strategy for National Research Infrastructure, which is now the current one from 2020 to 2030. For example, the Integrated Carbon Observation System, ICOS, research infrastructure has its headquarters in Finland. Finland is also leading the implementation of the S3 landmark, aerosols, clouds, trace gases research infrastructure called ACTRIS. There's also the Strategic Research Council in connection to Academy. The Strategic Research Council funds high-quality research with great societal relevance and impact. The research seeks concrete solutions to grand challenges that require multidisciplinary approaches. Through research programs, the Strategic Research Council conducts policy-relevant research into issues that are too large or too complex to be solved by a single academic discipline. This includes pressing concerns that affect the future of the Finnish society, such as climate change, energy security, population aging, and sustainable development. The Strategic Research Council programs run typically for 6 years and focus on long-term research goals, especially on identifying solutions to major societal challenges. The programs share and combine experiences in academia, policy, and international organizations to help bridge any gaps between scientific and policy communities. The Strategic Research Council currently funds, for example, the following programs on climate neutral and resource scarce Finland, keys to sustainable growth, towards a sustainable, healthy and climate-neutral food system, innovative materials and services to promote resource wisdom and sustainable development, and climate change and humans. And the Strategic Research Council is also making preparations for a large-scale double program called On a Just Green Transition. And then some words also about the international collaboration. The international collaboration is a key element of high-level research and partnerships. International collaboration among Nordic, European and global research communities offers a good ground for joint efforts, scientific results and exchange of knowledge. Partnerships range from individual research mobility between countries to multi-sectorial and multinational partnerships, such as the Horizon Europe supported partnerships. The joint European Recovery and Resilience Facility is an opportunity for green and digital transitions. Finland's Recovery and Resilience Plan forms part of the Sustainable Growth Programme for Finland. The program supports growth that is ecologically, socially and economically sustainable. The Academy of Finland supports the implementation of Finland's Recovery and Resilience Plan with funding to promote the dual digital and green transition. In 2021 and 2022, the Academy's RRF-based funding amounts altogether 85 million euros. Dear participants of this conference and dear guests, the need for collaboration between actors in Europe and across the world is now greater than ever. It is important to bring researchers and other actors together from South and North, East and West. The theme of this 30th EEAC annual conference is the critical decade of action, mobilizing sustainability transformation in Europe. It is indeed a time for action given the accelerating pace of climate change, loss of biodiversity and use of natural resources. Research helps our societies to respond to global challenges. Research-based knowledge is mandatory, ensuring sustainable development and protecting the welfare of future generations. In this endeavor, open science is a tool to overcome barriers to the free and open international exchange of data and information, and thereby generate global impact. The Finnish scientific community is strongly committed to open science policies. But with these words, I wish to wish you a very fruitful continuation of this important conference. Thank you.